Welcome to BSc third sem students. Here I am going to teach about the Sabines formula from the Unit 4 Waves and Sound. Before to that, let us see the reverberation and reverberation time. So as studied in the last section, the reverberation is an audible sound even after, so it is a persistence of audible sound even after the source of sound has stopped producing sound. That is a persistence of sound, so even the sound has been stopped is nothing but the reverberation. So the reverberation time, it is the time taken by sustained note to fall in intensity to 1 millionth of its original value. The time being measured from the instant the source stops produced the sound. Let us study the Sabines formula for reverberation time. W.C. Sabine developed the reverberation time formula to express the rise and fall of a sound in the auditorium. The main assumptions are, he made the two assumptions. The average energy per unit volume is uniform and it is denoting with a symbol sigma. Let us consider the average energy per unit volume is sigma. The energy is not lost in the auditorium. The energy lost is only due to the absorption of material of the walls and ceiling and also due to the escape through the window and ventilators. Both these factors are included in the term, that is the absorption of energy. So one term is the average energy per unit volume sigma. So another one is the absorption coefficient. So that is the alpha. Suppose a source is produced, a sound is produced continuously. This sound energy is propagated in all directions. Let sigma be the energy contained in unit volume. The energy that contained in a solid angle, say this is the one angle. So in this solid angle, so how much of energy is produced by the source, and it is taken with the this of solid angle. So here we are taking the normal component of this energy E is E cos theta, and here the energy that contained in the solid angle d phi. D phi is the angle. So that energy is equal to sigma into d phi divided by 4 pi. Because this is a solid angle, so it is divided by 4 pi. Let this energy by incident on the unit surface area of the wall at an angle theta. If the velocity of the sound is v, then the total energy falling per second on the unit surface area of the wall is sigma d phi by 4 pi into cos theta into v is the velocity of the sound. Then the total energy falling per second within a hemisphere is, then we have to take an integrate of this one. And after substituting the value of phi is equal to 2 pi 1 minus cos theta. So differentiating this, it becomes a 2 pi sin theta into d theta. So then you substitute the value of d phi here, and then the total energy falling per second within a hemisphere is, so by taking 0 to pi by 2, so it is a within a hemisphere, it is considered as a pi by 2. So this becomes a 2 pi sin theta into cos of phi. So cos of theta into d phi. So here after integrating of this one, it becomes a 2 sin theta into cos theta becomes cos square theta by 2. So therefore 2v by 2, and here pi pi get cancels, and it is the limits from 0 to pi by 2. So the finally we get a sigma v by 4. If alpha is the absorption coefficient of the walls, that refers to the fraction of incident energy not reflected from the walls, means it is an absorption coefficient. Then the amount of energy absorbed per second per unit area is sigma V and alpha divided by 2. If A is the area of absorbing materials including a ceiling, windows and ventilators, etc., the amount of energy absorbed per second is sigma V alpha A divided by 2. If V, capital V, be the volume of the auditorium, then the total energy is V into sigma. Then the total, that is the rate of increase of energy is, just you differentiate this equation with respect to the time, d by dt, and this become V d sigma by dt. Say this is equation 1. Suppose the source supplies the energy at the rate of q units per second. So if the applied source energy is q, then the rate of increase of energy is q minus of this absorption coefficient. So here this much of energy is absorbed. So therefore it is q minus a alpha sigma v divided by 4. Say this is equation 2. And then from equation 1 and 2, so we get V d sigma by dt and q minus a alpha sigma v divided by 4. Say this is equation 3. And then take k is equal to a alpha sigma v divided by 4 and k by v is equal to beta and b is equal to q by k, and that is equal to 4q divided by a alpha v. From equation 3, v d sigma by dt is equal to q minus k sigma, and this implies d sigma by dt is equal to q by v minus k sigma by v, and say this is equation 4. The general solution of this equation is sigma is equal to b, that is b plus small b into 10 raised to that e raised to minus beta into t. Say this is equation 5. When t is equal to 0, sigma is equal to 0, then automatically this small b is equal to minus b. Then sigma is equal to 4q divided by a alpha v into bracket 1 minus e raised to a alpha v t divided by 4v. Say this is equation 6. This equation 6, it represents the rise of energies, average energy, so per unit time. So the maximum value of average energy per unit volume is, this becomes a 4q divided by a alpha into v. Say this is equation 7. So for the maximum value, this becomes a 0. It becomes means it will reduces this value, and this becomes sigma maximum is equal to 4q divided by a alpha into v. And similarly, after the source of sound it ceases to emit the sound, the decay of average energy per unit volume is given by sigma is equal to 4q divided by a alpha v e into e raised to a alpha v divided by 4v, so which is of minus. And then so sigma is equal to sigma maximum into e raised to minus a alpha vt divided by 4v. Suppose if this is a minimum, sigma naught is a minimum audible intensity after a time t, then sigma naught is equal to sigma maximum e raised to a alpha v t1 divided by 4v. So where t1 is a time interval between the cutting of sound and the time at which the intensity falls below the minimum audible level. Then from this equation 10, so here sigma maximum is equal to sigma naught into e raised to plus. So this becomes plus AV into alpha into T1 divided by 4V. So thus taking a logarithm of this one, so it becomes a log of sigma maximum divided by sigma naught equal to A alpha V T1 divided by 4V. And here this alpha and sigma naught change with the frequency of the sound. So Sabine took the value of this sigma maximum divided by sigma naught is equal to 10 raised to 6. So after substituting that 10 raised to 6 in equation 11, so this becomes a log of 10 raised to 6 equal to A alpha V T1 divided by 4V. So after simplifying this, we get the expression for the reverberation time, and that after substituting the value of that is velocity of a sound at room temperature, it is a 350 meter per second. So we get the value of that is a reverberation time T1 is equal to 0.158 V divided by summation of A alpha. Say this is equation 13, and this is the equation of Sabine's reverberation time formula. Hence, from this equation, it is concluded that the reverberation time is directly proportional to the volume of the auditorium, inversely proportional to the area of the ceiling, that is the area of the wall and etc., and also inversely proportional to the total absorption plus transmission through the open surfaces. Now, let us study the measurement of reverberation time. Reverberation time is measured 1 by 1 or 1 by 3 octave frequency bands, that we have studied this interval of this octave in case of a musical scale, and some of which may be averaged to provide a single number result for the most significant bonds. This reverberation time may range from 0.1 seconds in uh, anechoic chambers to the 10 or more seconds in a large public spaces. Then the reverberation time vary between the positions in a room. So it is usually measured at several positions. The average for all positions gives an overall assessment, and the position results may use to indicate the acoustic quantity as the function of the location. Then the reverberation time, it can also be measured using either the impulsive excitation. Immediately we are going to excite the impulse. For example, so we are impulse can be done with a firing a pistol or a bursting a balloon, and by using the interrupted noise with a within the built-in noise generator. So with this we can measure the reverberation time. So we have studied the Sabine's formula. He derived the expression for the reverberation time and also the measurement of reverberation time. Thank you.